Funding for Mastodon Minutes is provided by the Indiana-Purdue Student Government Association.
11 candidates, 4 positions, and 1 goal to serve the IPFW student body. This is our election special.
I think this election is going to be very competitive.
We all know our stuff. We're all very involved at the moment.
I've been a competitor since God knows when.
I think we have some strong candidates, and I think every one of them, all 11 of us, are advocating for great things across campus and great things for IPSGA.
I think this will be the closest election that I have seen while at IPFW. I think we have 2 very strong tickets as well as a few independent candidates that are very strong in many ways.
It's really the student's choice. It's an open, free, and democratic election, something that over the world people are aspiring to, and we have it right here.
With 2 tickets and 3 independents running in this year's election, this year's student government election looks to be competitive. I'm Nick Lawrence. Andy Starwich has the week off. We kick off our You Decide 2011 election special today with interviews with 9 of the 11 candidates. Starting off, we caught up with 3 candidates for president. Incumbent Terrell Lynn of the Reflecting You ticket and independent Matthew Bocart, and Joe Menzie of Student for Effective Government ticket. The 3 candidates shared their different approaches to leading the IPSGA.
I really want to do things that support not only students that continue their whole student life here on campus with living in the apartments, but as well as the commuters, the people doing returning education, etc.
Some of my goals, if elected, were pretty much to branch off on a lot of the goals that I planned on accomplishing this semester, which were, 1, we're bringing ebooks to the library so that students can stop paying for a lot of the books. And I'm not talking about every book on campus, but basically the main books like your general education, your comm classes, your basic English classes.
If elected, some of my goals include making the student government more accessible to the students. Currently, I feel there's a disconnect between the students and the student government. One thing I want to do if elected, which is something I've already done and I'm going to continue to do, is hold bi-weekly fireside chats. What these will be is an opportunity for anybody in the student body to come and speak with me about what they expect from their student body and what they want their student body to do for them.
The main thing that we're here for is an education. Sometimes I don't like to admit it myself. I get caught up in everything else that goes on in the extracurricular activities, but the main thing is we're here for an education, and we should have library access longer than 11 o'clock and then with a small area for 24 hours. So I'm actually working as a senator right now to get the library open for 24-hour period the last 2 weeks of the semester.
We're working on getting the furniture outside. IPSGA's office change. That's actually, we've already picked the furniture out. We're going to turn this into kind of an IPSGA type deal, like upstairs, more student friendly. Working on bringing barbecues to campus once a month, 3 per semester. I've already worked that out with a lot of the vice chancellors.
I want to try to create a committee of students who will go out into the community and find opportunities for IPFW students to perform in charitable activities. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to kind of polish the IPFW name, especially in our local community. Going to IPFW has a slightly negative connotation to it, and I want to change that image because this is a great university that has a lot to offer the students and can really do a lot.
I came here basically on, I would say, what it is, a second chance, because I've always wanted to be a doctor, and every year I find myself getting more and more involved in not necessarily politics, but within community and helping out others. And that's why I'm truly running for president.
I offer a lot of openness. I offer a lot of ideas. I'm open to ideas. I'm just ready to get back in here for another year and show IPFW students what more I have to offer to them.
If you vote for me, Joe Menzie, for student body president, and the rest of my ticket, Students for Effective Government, I will guarantee you that we will work to create a better, more open policy with your student government. If you want to know what's happening in your student government, you have every right to know. You can come to us, ask us, and we will help you every step of the way and help achieve your goals as students and our goals as your representatives.
3 active and very involved men on campus. It should be a very competitive race. The IPSGA Senate is a collective body of students who allocate funds for student organizations and pass legislation, among other duties. At the top of the Senate is the Vice President of Legislation. We caught up with 2 of the 3 candidates for this position, incumbent David Dressler of Reflecting You and Joe Magistri of the Students for Effective Government.
Some of the biggest issues that Senate face and IPSGA is trying to make our funding more fluid across the whole year, basically allowing access to student orgs and to students evenly dispersed across the year. That's one of the biggest issues I think Senate faces. And IPSGA, I've always been a big advocate about trying to get us to be more well known with students. I think our name is out there a lot. However, our faces could be out there more. Our actual bodies could be out there working with the students on a monthly or weekly basis, doing stuff that gets us connected to the student body more. And I feel like we are trying to accomplish that in next year's goals.
I know when I was getting my signatures for my petition, a lot of students were asking, what does Student Senate do? And I had to explain about our travel fund, our discretionary fund, and the other issues we cover. And a lot of students were kind of surprised about that. So awareness is a big one, both of, activity and participation. Another issue would probably be the openness. I don't feel like we're as open with the student body as we could be. I think we should be able to allow students more access to legislation, not only that is passed, but pending. Students should be able to see what the Senate is doing now, not what they've done.
What I've wanted to achieve in Senate so far was my main goal was to structure Senate, and I have done that, and I have accomplished those great things. What I do plan to continue to do that is to develop a senator's mind and basically work towards advocating for the students. We do a lot of appropriating with a very large budget that not a lot of schools across the United States have, and I feel that our main goal should be defending for the students and basically creating a environment on the campus that is advocating and addressing issues. And those issues, I think, can be addressed certainly through the Series of Student Affairs Committee, which is a very strong committee.
One of the things I will do from the beginning is I intend to sit down, if elected, with each senator at the beginning of the semester to talk to them about their goals, talk to them about my goals, talk about how we can help each other. I want to see senators legislate more and not just sit there and appropriate funds to student orgs. Because we're a student senate who is here to affect a change in the student body, but we haven't really done much of that this year. And I think working with them and trying to create similar goals will build that support.
Independent candidate D'Angelo Levette could not be reached by the time of this broadcast. Tune in to the You Decide 2011 debate coverage for Levette's positions. Here, there's a 2-man race for Vice President of Finance, a position that governs the financial aspects of the IPSGA. Incumbent Eric Smith is being challenged by former President and Vice President of Legislation, Cody Tennell. We were unable to catch up with Tennell recently to get his thoughts on returning to the IPSGA with the Student for Effective Government ticket.
I think the biggest issue with the budget right now is obviously the student government budget has been frozen, yet enrollment numbers continue to increase. So we need to find new and innovative ways to stretch our dollar and make sure that the amount of programming or activities we give out to students is stretched as much as it can go so we can get the maximum benefit. I decided to run for office for a 3rd term because I feel that IPFW deserves a stronger student government. They deserve to know how their money is being spent, and I plan to do that if elected.
Incumbent Vice President of Finance Eric Smith of the Reflecting You ticket was not able to be reached by the time of this broadcast. And once again, please stay tuned to the You Decide 2011 debate coverage for Smith's positions. The IPSGA elections are a major part of IPFW's Spring Fling activities. The Students' Activity Board is responsible for organizing events as this one. 3 candidates are vying for that position this year, including incumbent independent Nikki Matthews, Reflecting Youth, Marcy Sullivan, and student for Effective Governments, Wes Haffenden. The big issue seems to be whether these events should be of quantity or quality.
Currently on campus, SAB focuses on a few events throughout the year, and then they have a lot of events that they don't really put a lot of effort into. Maybe not effort, but the resources aren't used effectively. There's a lot of wasteful spending, food that's bought that's not used. The cost just, there isn't enough return on what they spend. I would like to focus instead on having higher quality events without such wasteful spending. If you focus on getting events that the students are actually interested in, there won't be such a waste that there currently is.
I think that the fewer but higher quality events to campus statement is very not only vague, but from being in this position, there are a lot of things that you are expected to do. There's a lot of activities that you are expected to have, and fewer but higher quality events, simply saying that is quite honestly not saying much at all, because students look for quality events, they do, but in the meantime, the purpose and the reason for student activities is to get something that students want to do on a continual basis.
For me to respond to fewer events but higher quality, that's kind of what we have right now. We have fewer events. Some of them are of higher quality, some of them are just normal, everyday things happening. We really want kids and students to hang out on campus, and right now they're just coming to campus and going home after class. So fewer events would not be a plus right now.
And stay tuned to Mastodon Minutes News for the Spring Fling festivities, April 11th through the 16th. Here at Mastodon Minutes News, we want to assure you that we do not practice favoritism. All of the candidates shown today kindly responded to our interview invitations, which were sent out to all of them. We are merely a podium for which the candidates were offered to speak. And speaking of somebody you wouldn't want running for office, Josh Van Cleve was able to capture Arnie Ball's 500th career milestone volleyball win at the Hillergate Sports Center.
Well, I just had a great ride, man. It's been so much fun, and we got a lot of kids still playing internationally all over the world. It's like Lloyd played today and won European championships, and it's just been so much fun. And I've had such a great time with all the young people that I've had a chance to be a little bit a part of their lives, and they've been a lot of my life, so it's just been a real pleasure.
Well, thank you, Josh, and we want to extend our congratulations to Coach Ball for that milestone victory. Well, that does it for this week. I'm Nick Lawrence, and thank you for watching Mastodon Minutes News. Be sure to tune in to Mastodon Minutes You Decide 2011 debate coverage. As always, Mastodon Minutes News is always at your fingertips, all day, every day. So you should check us out on Facebook.com/Mastodon Minutes. More programming from CATV is coming up next. Have a great week, everybody.
Drastic changes already, such as making everything online, scanning all formats in there also. But something I really want to get going, and I've got some good experience with this too, is to make it so when you submit a bill, organization, individual request form, you can view the process 24/7. You can view it right on the IPSGA website, and you can log in with a username and password, and then you can look at where the process is, if it's in Senate, if it's been passed, you know, and then you can go from there, or what is missing.
Making student orgs better and more efficient, where they're more able to survive on their own, because a lot of times we hear the government, but student orgs also need to know how to survive in case the government can't provide all the money, and that way student orgs are able to thrive very well. The other one will be Greek life. That's something I also work with some of the administration on currently, because that's something that a lot of students want, but it's a lot of different things where students have been getting to running around and different things like that, and we're trying to make sure that gets consolidated, that way students get questions answered. And one of the things is also having the Senate tape and archive, that way people can see it and make sure there's a full Senate and more accountability to the students when people are receiving the funds from IPSGA